Hey, what's up, guys? So, today I wanted to do a video talking about training principles, I guess, loosely. These are basically just guiding principles that I try to keep in mind, not just for my training, but also when I'm writing a program or a workout. I'm also going to be trying to go off of notes this time because normally I just sit in front of my phone and talk, but I thought I'd try writing notes down this time and see how that goes. Number one doesn't actually have to do directly with the actual lifting of weights, but it does have to do with training, and that is training splits don't matter. When all other factors are equated, all splits will produce similar results. The difference is whether your training split fits your schedule, lifestyle, ability to recover, and how you enjoy structuring your training. I have this one in here because so many people get caught up on training splits. What's the best training split? Which training split produces the best result, or this result, or that result? Doesn't matter. It really doesn't. When all else is equated, the results are going to be the same, or at least similar enough that it doesn't actually matter until you start to consider what is your schedule like, what is your lifestyle like, how do you enjoy structuring your training? That is the only thing that actually matters about a training split. For example, if you only have time to work out 3 days a week, you should probably do something like a full body. Or if you have the time for like a 6-day or a 5-day split, but you don't like to do that. Maybe you like to do full body. Maybe you like to do upper lower or torso and limbs. Totally fine. It's just about how you structure your training. Now, for me, I'll try out different splits to see if I like them or see which ones I like. And, I have two that are my favorites. That would be an Arnold split, and actually, I think my number one favorite now would be like a Lee Haney style split. Don't think there's actually a name for it, so I just call it a Lee Haney split. But every now and then I will do something like an upper lower or a bro split or, something different. But I never worry too much about what kind of split I'm doing because I know that I'm gonna get similar results regardless. Number two kind of deals with two things, deals with intensity and also volume. And number two is train hard. High and low volume can both work, provided you put in sufficient effort. Regardless of which path you take, what works is how hard you train. So every few years, the pendulum kind of swings one way or the other as far as like, should you do high volume? Should you do low volume? Again, it doesn't really matter that much if you're training hard. There have been times where I've loved doing high volume, and right now I've also done low volume before and enjoyed it. Right now I'm doing kind of somewhere in the middle, kind of moderate volume, and I'm really enjoying that right now. But if you want results, you need to train hard. Does that mean go to failure on every set? It can. And in fact, I've said this before, but if you're a beginner, I think you should be going to failure on every set until you literally try and fail to get a rep, except on certain exercises where it's not safe, like don't do that on deadlifts and like barbell back squats and flat bench press, that those ones not so good to go to failure on regardless. But in general, if you're a beginner, I think you should be going to failure on just about everything to learn how to work hard, how to train hard. And if you're past the beginner stage, you should still be going pretty close. Like I used to follow like the advice of like, oh, leave 2 or 3 reps in reserve. No, like I wasn't getting the results that I wanted to doing it that way. And so I just started going to failure a bunch, and started getting awesome results. And once you learn how to go to failure, once you train like that for a little while, then you start to learn what no reps in reserve really is, where you can actually tell, like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to get another rep. And training like that is also awesome. You're also going to get great results. But the caveat to that is you need to go to failure a lot on a lot of exercises for a while to learn where that is. That is something that I try to take to heart and utilize in my training. I try to go as hard as I can. Number 3, this one I think is the most important and the most applicable to the widest range of people. Because, like number 2 is definitely from my perspective of training for hypertrophy, but if you're just training for general health, I mean, you don't need to train that hard. But number 3, definitely, I think the most important regardless of your training goals, and that is have fun. Even mediocre exercises can build great physiques if you're consistent over time, and you won't be consistent if you don't enjoy the process. How hard you train is also influenced by how much you enjoy your training. This one I consider to be the most important because almost none of us are doing this as a job. We do it as a hobby. So you should be having fun. Because in my opinion, the number one factor in whether or not you're going to get results is how consistent you are. If you're not enjoying your hobby, it's not going to be your hobby for very long. Don't worry about the most optimal exercises. Don't necessarily worry about what's going to produce the best results. Try those things out, and if you enjoy them, awesome, great, use them. But don't let that be the deciding factor. Don't let the deciding factor be whether, you think it's more optimal or what this person or that person said is the most optimal. You know what the most optimal thing is? Consistency. And again, if you're having fun, you'll be consistent. You will want to come back. And if you're having fun, then at least in my experience, and this is one of the reasons why this is my top one, if you're having fun, you'll want to train hard. So seriously, don't worry too much about what other people say about how you should be training. Try stuff out, find out what you enjoy, do that. And honestly, I think that this one has actually made the biggest difference in my own training, because I didn't just suddenly decide I'm just going to train hard. No, I decided I've seen online that this exercise or that exercise is the most optimal, but I don't like it. For example, I really love concentration curls. Are they the best kind of curl to do? No, probably not. But I like them, so I do them. I don't care what anybody says. They're fun. They're cool. They're great. And I'm going to keep doing them. And because I keep doing them, I'm going to push them harder and harder and harder and lift more and more and more weight. And that's going to produce results. And that's what I care about. I have fun and I get results. Is it as fast as somebody else? Doesn't matter. There's always going to be somebody that gets better results faster, and it doesn't matter. I do this because I love it. And that's, like I said, that's the biggest thing, the number one thing. Anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So if you're still watching, thank you so much. I don't really have anybody to ramble on to about this stuff in my personal life, so this is where I put it. So if anyone actually watches, thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. And let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know, do you have any training principles? Is that something that you've thought about? And if so, what are they? Let me know down in the comments. And yeah, that's about it. So have a good one. See you next time.